All right, so here's an example where we're going to examine a proof, and then we're going to try and identify where the error is. All right? Because we know intuitively that 3 does not equal 4, but he says that he can prove algebraically by deductive proof that 3 equals 4. Okay, so see if you can pick up the error here. So he starts off by saying this, the solution or the proof, he says this. A plus B equals C. That's the premise. We're going to start off with this, and we're going to use this fact to prove that 3 equals 4. So he says that A, okay, can be written as 4A minus 3A, all right, plus, and B can be written as 4B minus 3B, and that is going to equal 4C minus 3C. Now, why he did this, you don't have to understand why he did this, but this is part of his proof. So in this proof, I want you to watch for the error. Okay? So far this is true. If we start off with this basic premise, this is true because we've just taken 4 A's and we've subtracted 3 A's, and that does equal 1 A, and so on. Okay? So what he's done here now is he's gathered some like terms. So, he's kind of put all of the terms with a coefficient of 4 on the same side. So we've got 4A plus 4B minus 4C. So we took these and put them over on one side. And over here, he's got, if you add 3A and 3B to both sides, you've got 3A plus 3B over here minus 3C. So the next step says because he factored, or because he's moved these together, there's a common factor in this expression, and that is the number 4. And so if you factor a 4 out, then he comes up with this right here. And again, you don't have to know how to do this from scratch. Okay, that's not the point. The point is I want you to watch for something mathematically that we are doing wrong. And so far, gathering like terms, factoring out a common factor, doesn't seem wrong so far, does it? Okay, so A plus B minus C over here. Okay? Now, if we get to this point, we can see that we actually have a common factor on both sides. So we have a 4 times A plus B minus C. And over here, we have 3 times A plus B minus C. If we have a common factor on two sides of an equation, we can divide that out. Okay, so just hang on to your thoughts. I know some of you may be noticing already, maybe something that's in error here, but don't say anything yet. Okay, so if we divide out a common factor, right, A plus B minus C, that's an expression, it's a common factor, then it looks like this, right? So divide that out, and what you're left with here, and what he's saying is that, hey, look at what I'm left with. 4 equals 3. Okay? Now you're thinking that just does not seem right, but the question is, where did we go wrong here? So as I said, everything looked pretty good up here until near the end, but is that true? Okay? Rearrange the terms. We added, subtracted correctly. We factored a common factor out correctly. Okay? So can someone explain to us where this went awry? Yes?
When he switched around the numbers, he
Swi-
didn't balance out the equation.
Okay, when switched around the numbers, do you mean from this step to this step?
No.
From this one to this one?
Yeah, that step to that step.
Okay, so so let's take a look at that. So here we have 4A plus 4B minus 4C. What he said was that in each of these terms there's a common factor of positive 4. If I divide a positive 4 out right at here, I'm left with positive A plus positive B minus C. So this step right here is actually okay.
Yeah, it's the step.
Oh, so the step before that. Okay, well we have 4A plus 4B, and then this plus 4C comes over to the other side to make it a minus 4C. So actually that's okay too. Yeah, that's all right too. Another guess? We only have one step left.
So the A plus B minus C, if you take that away, it's 0. So if 4 times 0.
If you take what away? Take this
Yeah.
and this, if you divide it off? You mean?
What?
Okay, just let me deal with that one first. Okay, that's another good guess. I'm glad you guys are guessing this. This is all good thinking. But everyone pay attention here, okay? Pay attention. When you have a common factor like this, you're not this doesn't actually equal 0 when you divide it off. So don't think about it as canceling to 0, okay? They're very, very important. A lot of students, and I mean, I try not to say cancel it out. I try not to say that. I try to say divide out common factors, because when you divide out a common factor, if you have a number or an expression divided by itself, what does that yield? What does that give you? It gives you 1, right? You're not subtracting, you're dividing it. So a number divided by itself is always 1. So this is actually 4 times 1. Wow. Okay. Technology's awesome. Apparently I'm not. Okay, so this is actually 1, and this is actually 1. But you're on to something. And this is the tricky part, okay? Look at the premise. Is A plus B equals C, okay? So if A plus B equals C, that means that this is equal to this. What happens if you have A plus B and you subtract C then? What does that actually equal? You have something minus itself. So now if you have something minus itself, what is it? It's 0. Okay, so A plus B minus C, given this, is actually 0. So look at what we've done here, algebraically. We've kind of like lost it in translation a bit, but we've actually divided by 0. So in our proof, we've actually divided by 0, which is the error. Okay, so the error is dividing by 0. And you cannot do that, okay? That is wrong. Right here, this is 0, that's 0. You can't do that. That's why this proof is invalid. So again, if A plus B equals C, that means they're the same things. So if you have something minus itself, you get 0. And over here, we divide it by 0, which is bad. Everybody say dividing by 0 is bad. Dividing by 0 is bad. Okay, good. Remember that. That'll help you in life, okay? Yeah, question?
So if 0 equals 0 is the answer, or is there no answer?
Well, no, yes. The answer would be 0 equals 0. Yeah, because 4 times 0 equals 3 times 0. That is true. 0 does equal 0. So that means that 4 doesn't equal 3. But 0 equals 0, which we all knew. Okay? So, there's an error in your proof. All right. Any questions?